All right, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon and good evening, depending on when you're listening to the show. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me on the podcast. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. So I am very excited to share the topic for today. And it was one that Spirit actually brought in very clearly and kind of sat me down, and they were like, can you talk about this? And I said, okay, lay it on me. And so they had a couple of different points they wanted me to talk about soul contracts at play right now. And so, whenever we talk about soul contracts, I'm always fascinated to hear what they have to share, because I find the way in which soul contracts are so intricately woven, the divine alignments of when people meet, and that's not always relationships, but I mean, when someone is born into a family, when someone meets somebody and they create a business opportunity, but also relationships too, when these divine meetings happen, there is so much behind it. And sometimes we just think, oh, just a fluke meeting, but it's not. There's divine alignments behind things, and those are in the form of soul contracts. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. And really what Spirit wanted to say is to recognize how in many cases, and I'm not going to blanket statement this by saying all, because I think, there are some times where things happen by chance, but the majority of the time, there are specific experiences that we agreed to in the design of our blueprint, our soul contract, to really assist us in the evolution of our soul. And in many ways, those things can play out, they can play out in the form of illness, in the form of opportunities. But what I'm wanting to speak about specifically today is in the meeting of other people. When we cross paths with someone significant to our journey, there is such a divinity behind it. And it's kind of neat to think of when you look at it from the perspective, Spirit is saying, rise in your perspective in how you see this. When you watch a play unfold, or say the play, yeah, that's a good example. Sorry, they're showing me something in my mind here. Say you're watching Beauty and the Beast. This is how they want to explain it. Most of us know Beauty and the Beast. So most of us, when we're watching the show, watching the play, the movie, we know what's about to happen. So we know when someone is worried or afraid that maybe they're going to get eaten by wolves, we know they're actually going to be saved by the beast, right? We know that. So we get to watch that unfold. But if we were the characters in that moment, if it was real, we wouldn't know that, right? And so Spirit is saying from their perspective, they get to watch these divine events unfold, which makes way for the alignments of these beautiful unions. And these unions are really aligned with soul contracts. They're not just, again, for the most part, by chance. And so Spirit says with that, one of the most important things for us to remember is we will know when we've come across somebody that is a destined piece of our soul contract, when there is this full body resonance to them. Now, sometimes we will get that full body resonance to meeting that person right away, and sometimes we'll get that after, when we're kind of pondering, reflecting on maybe the conversation or the synchronistic way in which it happened. And again, this can be relationship based romantically, but it can also be soul partnerships, pairings, friendships, business relationships. It really covers all of that. And so Spirit is wanting to bring this up right now because many of us are going to start to find we come upon these soul contract divine moments. We're going to be noticing this a lot in the next few years. And they said that also the energy of March, which was really wild for many people, was part of speeding up that process, or essentially getting us as closely as aligned as possible. And they show me the month of March kind of like fast forwarding until you get to your favorite part in a show. They're like, the intensity that March brought really allows us this opportunity to fast forward, to get to the places where we can actually start these collaborations. And that's how they want to say it, because so many of us are coming onto this planet right now with this, these ingenuity concepts, these moments of clarity and ingenuity, these ideas for creation, these ways to do things differently on our planet. And then when we pair those with the right people, the whole idea of two or more, then so it can be created, becomes really valuable and tangible in our world. And that's why these collaborations and these pairings are going to be happening more and more now to really bring in this new energy, this new frequency, these beautiful new changes in all of the ways. Now, if we look at that in the sense of business partnerships, that makes a lot of sense, right? You have two people or more that meet and create a new thing. Maybe it's a new way to, fix the food shortages. There's many, many ways that can show itself. But it can also happen in the ways of relationships. And some might think, well, what does relationship do? It doesn't help anybody else but the two people. But in fact, it does. Because more people are coming together in union in a form that is very conscious. And when union is very conscious, meaning you have two people who really know what they're about and they know how to then equally support each other in a very grounded way, that creates a huge ripple energy. Because love energy is so massive when it is doubled, right? So we can have our own love frequency, but when we can pair it with another in equal harmony, equal frequency, it has massive ripples. So for some people, coming into soul unions, and whether you term this twin flame, whether it's soulmate, divine union, I think all of these pairings are part of this. The frequencies that you create simply being in harmony together are really solidifying this template on our planet now for new relationship models, which is fantastic. Now, Spirit had said that this would start to come into play more in 2024, but as we're, starting to get to the midpoint, not quite there, but we're on our way to the midpoint of this year, I'm not surprised that it's coming up now. And so I find it really interesting that this information is coming up on the heels of all the transformation we had in March, because March really allowed us to shake off the energy of 2022 and fully embrace 2023. So when that happens, then they put those kind of at the forefront of the next phase of energies, 2024, into action. So that's why, again, these collaborations are really coming forward based on soul contracts. So what does that mean? What that means is we're going to step into opportunities now where we will be, I'm going to say confronted, but I don't mean that in a harsh energy. It will be brought onto our path, into our awareness, where we need to either make changes, open space, or be ready for these energies coming in. So it's very, very timely, and it's all about collaboration. And so Spirit is saying one important thing as we open up to this new level of soul contract manifesting in our world, we need to make space for it. And so there's this requirement of kind of this balancing act energy right now. And that is so that we can make sure that we don't miss these opportunities, that we're, too busy. Say we run into Starbucks and we're too busy, we're too much in a rush, that we miss an opportunity that maybe this desired business partner is in Starbucks right then. And if you would have maybe looked up from your phone, looked around, you would have made eye contact with this person who happened to notice you when you walked in. The two of you would make eye contact, and then one of you would have the guts to say, "There's something familiar about you. I just had to stop and say hi." And then the other person says, "I thought the same thing. Oh, what do you do for work?" "Oh, well, I work in the medical field. What do you do?" "Oh, I'm in science and research on," so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden you have this conversation that ends with, "Hey, why don't we meet again and chat, because I'm wondering if I could maybe bring you in on this new research project because I'm looking for somebody with your credentials." All because you were willing to be present in the moment, make eye contact, receive the energetic nudge when it happened, you didn't miss it. That's how these beautiful alignments happen. Now, I do want to say it doesn't mean we have to then walk around hyper vigilant every time, but it's more like sometimes if you feel a nudge to just take a moment, take that moment in that moment, because it might very well be showing you something. There might be something you're missing. It might be a moment of clarity where, say, you're in the grocery store and instead of rushing around, you notice someone struggling with perhaps it's their wheelchair. And in the moment of seeing them struggle in that specific way, your mind suddenly comes up with this absolute clear fix on how you can change the design of wheelchairs that maybe nobody has thought about before. And in that moment, because you observed it, you then create a patent and you revolutionize the way wheelchairs are made or maneuver, right? It's these moments of clarity that allow us the opportunity for this collaboration. This is coming to the forefront now because we have made space for it. This is exciting. We're getting into more action-oriented energies right now. And this is why Spirit wants us to really kind of step back, or not step back, but like broaden our horizons, rise above, open our view, and get out of the old energy of being so busy and working on the long game and, focusing so hard on the one thing, but open up to maybe what's actually manifesting for you right now in your reality, because these collaborations are coming in right now. These beautiful soul pairings are coming in right now based on our soul contracts. Our soul contracts are up in a way that is a good thing for many people. And I find this so exciting. It is such a new energy. It's such a liberating energy, which is why, I'm sure you could tell in my voice, I feel rather passionate about it. And it's because when they brought it through, they had so much excitement energy that we're at this point. And so with this balancing act, it's really like, make sure all of your time isn't being put into one thing so that you're neglecting the opportunity for other things to come in. This is a time to be very opened to what the wind wants to show you, right? It's kind of like the lesson that I had in the labyrinth in Maui back in December. I was walking through a labyrinth, and at first I kind of found it boring. I was like, I'm just looking at the same piece of ground. It's actually making me dizzy. And Spirit was like, your lesson in this labyrinth is actually to look up. And every time you do a twist and a turn, and even if you're facing a direction you already faced 2 or 3 times, find something new. Look at something new. And then within that experience, your whole understanding of that labyrinth experience will be so much more. When you look upon that memory, you're going to have a memory of 360 degrees around you, of the vegetation, of the animals, of the insects, of all of it, versus just the ground. And so it's that same idea. We need to open our minds and our observations to everything so that we can really take advantage of these beautiful alignments. Now, the other thing I want to say about these soul contract alignments right now is we can also, in our meditations or our daily gratitude, maybe your journaling, whatever it is that you do to kind of ponder and tune into yourself, in those moments, adding in the reaffirmation of what it is you're wanting to manifest is really helpful, because every time you do, you kind of add an extra frequency to your soul frequency, which draws those alignments to you. So it doesn't mean you have to hyper focus on it, but if every day you check in and you're like, yes, I still want that. Yes, I'm still desiring to find a way to bring this product to people because I think it'll be helpful. If you focus on that a little bit every day, you're going to amplify the beacon that is your energy to draw forth the other, that collaboration, that partnership that has the same frequency beacon. You'll find each other, right? Which is just such a beautiful thing. And so this is the energy that we are in now, that we are going to continue to see grow and evolve throughout this year. And so many of you are going to be at the forefront of this, but it is with great purpose. And Spirit, again, they're like the golden stars are, they're saying the golden stars are lining up perfect opportunities for you right now. And I love that. And when they say golden stars, it's really this echo of the golden light frequency that is on our planet that many of us are starting to really tap into. That frequency permeates the universe as well. And so the universe is wanting to use that same high frequency energy to align the beautiful things so they can match with the things on our planet. So the universe literally wants to help you as best as possible right now to bring these alignments in. So, that's such an exciting time. We're coming into a time where we really see our manifestations act, move, come to fruition show themselves in various ways. And a lot of that is going to have to do with partnerships in all forms. So I hope you feel as inspired as I do with that. I just feel excited for humanity with that. I feel excited for all of you who consider yourself light workers in all of the many things that you do. I am excited for you because this is your opportunity to really see the fruits of all of the hard work that you have been doing. And to have these come in with beautiful pairings, partnerships, alignments. Some of these will be lifelong and some of these will be just to help you through a certain phase. But to see that these action potentials are coming in right now is so exciting. These are beautiful rewards coming forward. So I, for one, am feeling very excited and happy to share that with you all. So I will leave that with you for today. I hope you feel inspired by this message and this share from the guides. And I look forward to connecting with all of you again next week. So thank you so much for your support. Please do share the podcast, rate the podcast too on your preferred platform. That really helps with the algorithms and helps others find these messages. So thank you everyone so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day.